Welcome everybody. How you guys feeling? How you doing? It's your boy Pillar, and today we are going to be talking Alejandro Garnacho leaving Manchester United. This is big news. It truly is, and it's going to be a shocker. It's going to be a big one, and this particular one, I believe, is something that we were waiting to happen and we were expecting it. Let me not even say waiting. I think we were expecting it is more of a better way to describe it, but we were waiting for this to happen, and it has just been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. But before we actually go deep into the situation, we are going to kind of first speak to you guys. Every single person watching this, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button because it does wonders for this channel. We have about 98 going on 96% people watching this without hitting that subscribe button. It does this channel a world of good if you guys are actually hitting the follow button and you guys are commenting telling me what you guys want me to talk about and what you want me to work on. And so please get into it, get into the chat and let us know. But without further ado, let's get this party. All right, today, like I said, we are going to be talking about Alejandro Garnacho. It has basically been reported by our very own Fabrizio Romano that Alejandro Garnacho will be leaving Manchester United. And you know, for one thing, this is absolutely crazy. It is crazy work, but we are going to be reading it together. And in this situation, he says here Alejandro Garnacho will leave Manchester United. Decision confirmed on player and club side. Set to part ways. Understand staying in the Premier League is a serious option with three clubs already keen after Bayer Leverkusen and Italian clubs come falling. Now, for the first thing about this situation is that we know for a fact that Garnacho has had problems. Garnacho has had problems with Manchester United, and it was a difficult one. The end or this part, especially this season, has been truly tumultuous. It's quite disappointing. It is quite problematic. In my opinion, I love the boy. I love the kid. I think he has so much talent in him. It's just quite disappointing that we are in this position right now. It is. Truly is. It is quite disappointing. And it's for somebody that should have been going into stardom based on what he has, improving his production. He should be going into, I was shooting into stardom. But we are here talking about Garnacho leaving Manchester United, going to other Premier League clubs, going to Italy, maybe Napoli. It is just mind blowing and it is sad for me to see. It truly is. Because this is a kid that came out from the academy and just took the game by storm. The goals he scored when he was wearing number 49, the goals he scored playing with his idol in Cristiano Ronaldo, scoring goals last minute. All those things absolutely made it a dream well done. It did. It was exciting. But we see Garnacho having problems when it comes to his attitude with the team. Just problems on problems. Of course, we knew he had a problem with Eric Ten Hag, had a problem with his Argentinian squad. Now has a problem with Ruben Amorim. This is a problem that he needs to figure out. And I hope he truly does figure it out because I think Garnacho is too good of a player for him to actually have this problem be his his how would I put it? He's too good of a player to have this be what ruins his career. That's how I'll say it. Too good of a player, in my opinion. So talented. And so in this sense, he needs to figure it out quickly. But basically, what we are hearing in this situation is that Garnacho has an opportunity to still stay in the Premier League. We already know that the likes of Chelsea are looking at him. We have heard Aston Villa. I think we might also be hearing Newcastle. I'm not so sure about that situation. However, it's still just a rumor. And so I'm going to keep you guys updated with this particular one. However, I think it's confirmed now that he is going to be leaving. Now, what do Manchester United want for Alejandro Garnacho? United are looking for around 40 to 60 million pounds for the young Argentine winger. I think he's worth that, at least. And that would be pure profit for Manchester United, which even takes it up to even a better sense of us actually doing business of this nature. He comes from Atletico Madrid. He plays well. He gets into the first team and does magic going forward. But then, of course, we know Atletico Madrid are coming in for him also because they are interested. We also heard about the likes of Bayer Leverkusen. Yes, we know that Erik Ten Hag is the manager at Bayer Leverkusen. However, Erik Ten Hag and Alejandro Garnacho fixed their relationship. They sure did fix their relationship. So it's not like as if that relationship is tumultuous at this point. But like I said, they have to put up the money. And if they put up the money, I believe it will be crystal clear that he leaves Manchester United. Just like we said that he confirmed, it is just very sad to see that he's not going to be there. But I think we have done a good job of replacing him so far. Because before he even left, we signed a replacement in Mateus Cunha. You get me? We signed a replacement in Mateus Cunha before he even left. And so I am glad that we are actually doing the work. Now let's go into something else or something more positive to a lot of people. And we are talking about Jamie Bino Gittens. Jamie Bino Gittens from Fabrizio Romano says are set to include add-ons as part of negotiations with Borussia Dortmund. After 35 million euros proposal rejected, Chelsea will return with an improved bid for Bino Gittens as he wants to move to Chelsea. Let me say something. This is a player that played for Manchester City. He played for Manchester City Academy, and he is a talented player. Give me 1 second. He is a talented player. A talent player. Has everything in his locker when it comes to being a winger. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to do what we saw him do during his days at the Bundesliga. But one thing is for sure, this kid is talented. That's for sure. There's no argument about this situation. No argument, in my opinion. And Chelsea are just stockpiling. How Chelsea keep on signing players, I still do not understand. They're just stockpiling players on players. You see Santos coming from Strasbourg that's coming back. You have Estavao coming from Brazil from Palmeiras. You have the guy from Sporting arriving. You have the guy from another guy from Sporting arriving. Now, what's his name? The wing back from Sporting. If you guys know it in the chat, please let me know. I've forgotten his name, but he's coming from. He's going to be arriving next summer, not this summer. So he's going back to Sporting for 1 more year. But there's a midfielder that's coming from Sporting and is going to be playing for Chelsea. So these are the things that are mind blowing when you even think about it. Chelsea are just stockpiling players on players. And guess what? The reports that came out about their PSR, they have the most safety and runway PSR. They could spend and lose over 300 million pounds this summer and not be up for PSR. That is how crazy it is. That is how mind blowing it is. I'm telling you. They can absolutely lose 300 million. That is with players' purchases and um, actually players' wages. They can do that and still have runway. So how they are able to do it? I still have no idea. You get me? Jeez. Give me 1 second. Something's really itching me bad. But I have no idea. It truly is not the way I wanted to see it, but that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Chelsea have figured something out, and it's working out well for them. It definitely is. I don't know what it is or what. I know that Chelsea sold their women's team to like a subsidiary company that Chelsea owns. So technically, they still own the women's team, but now they have an influx of money, a loophole that the Premier League tried to stop or tried to close and just couldn't close it. They sold their club hotel to themselves. Another ingestion of money or injection of money. That's something that every other team could do. But you have to have an owner that accepts that kind of money loss, where you're basically paying yourself without actually getting the money back. You get me? So this is the craziness of the situation. But that's what Chelsea is. And that's what getting Gittins would definitely do. Because now that they have not signed Jadon Sancho, there's a lot more space. Plus the fact that I believe that Opama getting the number 10 position or number 10 shirt marks the end of Mikhailo Mudrik. It marks the end of Mikhailo Mudrik's time at Chelsea. It does, in my opinion. Because that ban usually takes 4 years. Now, don't get me wrong, Chelsea would absolutely fight it. And in that sense, they might take it down to 18 months. But how many years does he have on his contract? How many years does he have on his contract? I think it was like 6 to 8. Okay, but that would then take another another few months before he can actually start playing football again. Because in my opinion, I think when it take your number off you without you giving it, I think it's time for you to leave. For instance, Cavani was with the number 7 shirt. Cristiano came back. Cavani left the next season. He was still, and funny enough, still our most prolific striker that we had in the league since Cristiano. You get me? So it's problematic for Chelsea, but they have figured out the way. They have figured out the way, and it works pretty well for them. You get me? Now, let's go to the striker position because, of course, Chelsea have signed Liam Delap, and they are not looking too much now for the strikers. So, what are we going to be talking about? We are talking about the Nigerians' very own, Victor Osimhen. It is basically reported that Victor Osimhen have booked a travel and medical for Victor. El Hilal has booked a travel and medical for Victor Osimhen, still waiting for his green light to the move. 75 million deal placed on um, with Napoli after new proposal revealed yesterday, depending on the player now. Let me tell you something. I don't know how much they want to pay him in terms of Saudi, but I feel like there's something happening here. There have been a lot of dragging of the feet in this situation. Now I don't know what Victor Osimhen is going to do. What is his decision? What is he going to actually say in this particular one? What decision is he going to make? But I think this is very problematic. I think the decision needs to be made and it needs to be made and soon. Because in my opinion, you're not going to get the money from Saudi anywhere else. You're really not. And so just get it done. If you're not going to Saudi, figure out where you're going to go play. because you're not going to Napoli. And yes, you might go back to Galatasaray on loan, or Galatasaray might try to make it permanent. But I don't think that's what you want to do. I don't think that's what Osimhen wants to do. He's a Niger boy. Niger boy is not a carry last. First of all, we want to make sure, say, we need to make sure, say, he needs to make the most money out of his career. Because this is a job after all. But I think for someone that is an icon of the game to Nigerians already, this might be doing him a disservice. He's 26 years of age. He's 26 years of age. You play 5 years of top European football, making around 25, sorry, not 25, but 250 million euros. And then you can go to Saudi. Well, that's just my opinion. But anyway, I'm not advising Osimhen. I'm just here to tell you guys what I think about the situation and what my opinion is on this news. You get me? Now, Osimhen is definitely a baller. If it comes to Manchester United is fighting for top eight position. And I'm telling you, we might not be third. That is how sure I know about Osimhen putting the ball in the back of the net. That is how sure I know Osimhen does it. He arrives at Old Trafford, and I believe that what you see next is literally a 25 goal season with the likes of Cunha, Umbuemo, and Bruno Fernandes serving him goals on a platter. That's one thing I know for sure. It's not even a debate in my mind, but he has to make a decision. You go to Saudi and go make the millions and millions tax free, or you come to the Premier League and make a lot of money, but still have people talking about you when you're done. Still have people wanting to be Osimhen. Still have people wearing the mask that put fear in their. Oh my God! Because one thing is for sure. One thing is for sure. If you make a name for yourself, your name will continue making money even when you're not playing football. That's for sure. That is crystal clear in my mind. However, the money in the bank is also absolutely needed. All right. So now let's go to the next transfer news, and we are looking at Leandro Paredes. Leandro Paredes is a main target for Boca Juniors this summer if he decides to leave AS Roma. Decision is up to the player and Gianpiero Gasperini. Of course, we know Gasperini left Atalanta and joined AS Roma. And that's after Claudio Ranieri came and saved AS Roma from the, the absolutely shit show, pardon my language, the absolutely crap show that they were facing in a very bad season. You get me? He came, he saved them, and he absolutely allowed them to flourish. And now, one of their best players in Paredes, you might be seeing him leave the club. Now, I don't know whether he's going to be joining Boca Juniors. We all know that Boca Juniors is one of the biggest clubs in Argentina. Oh man, those days where we used to watch Riquelme. If you guys do not know, Google the name, man. If you do not know, if you're too young to know the likes of Riquelme, Google the name. He was the captain of Argentina while Messi was even playing for Argentina. Nobody excited me in a free kick like Riquelme did. You get me? So him going back home will not be a bad idea anyway. But we keep on going. We keep on going. We got to talk about a lot of transfer updates happening today. So first things first, we go into Maxi Oyedele. Oyedele, I think that's how you pronounce it. Maxi Oyedele will leave League Warsaw, Legia Warsaw, with several clubs keen on signing him for 6 million euros clause. And Manchester United are due to receive 40% of that clause. You have the likes of Anderlecht, Club Brugge, Werder Bremen, PSV, and two championship side all called for Oyedele. First things first, if I'm looking at this situation and the clubs that are calling for him, this is a talented midfielder, by the way. Talented, he can play the number 8, he can play the holding 6. The holding midfielder, he can play it. He's combative, he has techers. Of course, when you see a player that has what do you call it? That has short socks or small socks, you know he's a talent. He has the talent. He's a tacky player from Manchester United Academy. Now, don't get me wrong, he did not make it at Manchester United. However, I think it's still a really good one, in my opinion. Anybody, Anderlecht, anyone that decides to go in and get him, you are getting a talented player. You are getting a talented player with a Maxi Oyedele. He is. But without further ado, we keep on going. We keep on going and we turn our attention to Manchester City. Tino Livramento. It says here negotiations for Tino Livramento to Manchester City are currently complicated and on standby. Newcastle are not reducing the asking price as they want to keep Livramento. Almost impossible to agree on terms in time for the Club World Cup. Now, let me tell you this. Livramento, jeez, what a baller. What a baller. Now, Manchester City are ridiculous because what kind of team are they trying to build over there at the Etihad Stadium? What kind of team are they trying to build? This is ridiculous, eh? They just got Ed Nuri. Not just Ed Nuri, they got what's his name? Tijani Reinders. And they are literally closing in on Ryan Cherky. And now they are going for Livramento. I want you guys to understand what they just did. They would probably they have filled up their the left back position. They have filled up their midfield position playing with Rodri. They are trying to fill up the attacking midfield with Ryan Cherky. And now they want to actually then fill up the right back position that has been left by Kyle Walker. That's how much these people have figured out this situation. That's how much they are moving mad in this transfer window. It's mind blowing to think about. It truly is. These guys are absolutely going crazy. They are going crazy. It truly is. Livramento from Newcastle. After what we watched, after him coming in and literally making that position his, first team player and all, very strong, very big, very fast, has the ability to attack on that right hand side and still come back defending. Nah, man. Manchester City are doing a big one with this. They are doing a big one with this. You get me? We just got another update. It says here, Osimhen arrives in Nigeria today from Istanbul as he will inform clubs on his decision soon. Al Hilal are prepared to seal the deal with medical tests booked to bring him to the FIFA World Cup, waiting on his final decision tomorrow. Well, we should see something today then, or maybe tomorrow morning, and I will be here to absolutely give you guys the update on that one. I definitely will be. Yeah, it's mind blowing, man. It is mind blowing. Now let's discuss about what Viktor Gyökeres, what is happening in this situation. You get me? Because of course I believe today is his birthday, June 6th. The mask. I want you guys to understand this. Manchester United is a marketing juggernaut. If this man chooses to join Manchester United, let me tip that for you. I'm going to make this as crystal clear. And I'm basically offering my services to Manchester United. Because when it comes to marketing, I know a thing or two about this. When Gyökeres scores his first goal for Manchester United and brings the mask, oh, if Gyökeres brings the mask, you get me? If he brings the mask to Old Trafford, the way they can sell this, the way they can market this, of course, Manchester United already have this whole villain, whatever situation going. Um, Hated, whatever, never ignored. Gyökeres could be the ultimate villain. The mask. Oh, I cannot even explain it. Let me tell you this. I can literally write down script on ads on what they can do to literally push this guy if he looks or even breathe success in Manchester United. The most right now, apart from the Sue and what, I don't think anyone has a celebration that is more recognizable than the mask. I don't think anyone has a more recognizable celebration than the mask of Gyökeres. If I'm wrong, guys, tell me. And with just that, we have already seen how he created a media storm with Cristiano Ronaldo. If this kid, because he has already done it in Portugal, where you see every kid doing this, every kid doing the mask, every kid doing the mask, even adults. If he does it at Old Trafford, it will be a different gravy. It will be a different gravy, I'm telling you. I promise you that. It will be a different gravy. And it is so freaking likely. It is so likely. It's so likely that it will happen. It is so likely that it will happen. Not just that him coming to Manchester United, but because of him actually being successful under Ruben Amorim. Nobody knows how to put him in the right place at the right time more than the person that has already done it. Nobody. So one thing is for sure. One thing is for sure. Gyökeres played 50 games for Coventry and had 34 goal and assist. You get me? In his last year for Coventry, 50 games, 34 goal and assist. Goal contributions anyway. And then he moves to Sporting. And in Sporting, he had 50 games with 58 goal and assist. But guess what? That did not stop him. That hasn't stopped him because he went into another season and he had 52 games with 67 goal and assist. Let me tell you this. This is the most prolific striker in the Premier League, not even in the Premier League, sorry, in the world right now. The most prolific, Gyökeres. You get what I'm saying? Now let's hear from what Fabrizio Romano has to actually say about Viktor Gyökeres. Because I want you guys to actually pay attention to this. You get me? I want you to pay attention to this. Because this is big. You get what Fabrizio Romano actually says about Viktor Gyökeres. We are going to give him time for him to say it. So bear in mind, it is about 1 minute. I'm going to give you guys my start and stop in this situation, but it is amazing. Let's go.
My next question was going to be about Gyökeres. Of course, there has been a little bit of talk about him potentially linking up with a man he knows very well. Of course, that man is Amorim at Manchester United. Given the implications of the potential move to Arsenal for Sesko, what could that mean for the striker?
Look, for United, it depends on the financial investment they want to make, because the player was, first of all, quite keen on the move before the Europa League final. Then Man United didn't qualify for Champions League football, and so Champions League football is an important point for Gyökeres. But from what I'm hearing, the player is still quite open to assessing all the options on the market, so it's not Champions League or nothing. So Man United would have the chance to go and get the player. I'm told there is a gentleman agreement between Gyökeres agents and Sporting to leave the club for something around 65-70 million euros this summer, so a big opportunity. But United are investing already big money. Mateus Cunha, now there is this negotiation for Bumo, then Bruno is not leaving. Bruno was maybe an opportunity to make some money, but a player like Bruno is absolutely crucial for Man United, untouchable, so he's not leaving. And so let's see how much United can invest, and also how much money they can make with players like Sancho, Rashford, Garnacho. All these players are available on the market, and we have to follow the situation.
So that's basically what Fabrizio Romano said. You get me? Fabrizio basically just saying what we already know in this situation. Viktor Gyökeres, in my opinion, is waiting for Manchester United. And I don't like doing
My next question was going to be about Gyökeres.
I understand what speculations does. I don't like doing speculations. But Viktor Gyökeres, it has been reported already that Arsenal have decided to focus, in my opinion, on the Benjamin Sesko deal. And I think it's a brilliant one from Arsenal because he's a brilliant player. He's young, he's strong. There's a lot of fight in the dude. And he's not even touching the peak. He's not touching the peak of his powers yet. But let me tell you something. In my opinion, I've always said this. Arsenal does need an experienced player in that front line. They should not go get somebody that's trying to lend the ropes. They shouldn't do that. Same as Manchester United. We should not be going into this situation thinking that Liam Delap, that's one of the reasons why I said Liam Delap was not the right man for Manchester United. He just wasn't. He wasn't. And so, therefore, we needed somebody that's experienced. We know we need somebody that can actually fight to get us what we need. You get me? And what do we need as Manchester United players and fans? We need a goal scorer. We need somebody that would absolutely put in the back of the net the ball literally 25 times at least. At least. And we ease. Whether it's a situation of like a half a chance, we need it. That's the part of this that needs to happen. And that's why this dude needs to come in. He truly does. We also see the likes of Jonathan David scoring 25. He's 25 years old. He scored against Ukraine today. He's a free agent. What is happening on that situation? Nobody's hearing anything yet. I heard that Napoli are closing in on a deal to actually sign him. But that's another player that Manchester United can bring. We need depth. We need strength in depth. Here's a player that took Lille to how far they went in the Champions League. And in my opinion, I think he will be a good backup. Now, I still do not think that Rasmus Højlund should be sold because I still know that there's a talent in there. He just needs somebody to lead him. He needs somebody so he can learn off of. That's what he needs. When Rooney came, he had players, he had attackers ahead of him. When Cristiano came into the club, he had Van Nistelrooy ahead of him. When Van Nistelrooy came, I believe you had the likes of York, Social, and the co. So in my opinion, I'm like, he needs somebody ahead of him because the talent is still there. That's one of the reasons why you see Inter going for Hoyland. Inter just finished playing in the Champions League final. Now I understand that Lautaro Martinez, he's a different type of striker. Lautaro Martinez is a different kind of striker. But in my opinion, Rasmus Højlund still has something to deliver and something to give. So why not? Why not give him? You get me? So yeah, man, it's quite disappointing sometimes to even think about. But Manchester United are definitely going through a lot of changes, and that's what we asked for. That is what we asked for. We need it, we want it, and we are here for it. Well, something to give you guys a little bit more. Say my sound is not clear. Let me see. Maybe if I put this there, it will be a little clearer. How about now? Is the sound a little bit clearer now? Because man, I really want you guys to actually let's see. Maybe the mic is not as let's see, maybe if I increase it a little bit. So yeah, that's definitely something. Of course, the likes of Dean Hodgson is already a Madrid player. As he's a Madrid player, what we are going to be seeing in this situation is that he joins Madrid and he might be unveiled to the Madristas. I think on Tuesday, maybe, right before the what do you call it, the FIFA World Cup starts. Now that has also been a situation. This whole FIFA World Cup thing has also been a situation. Why? Because they have had a lot of problems in actually selling tickets. They've had a lot of problems in selling of tickets. Do you know how bad that is? A lot of people are like, oh, Messi, 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 this, Messi, that. No, it's a problem because the best teams are not in this. The champions are not in this. You get me? The champions of the league are not in this. PSG is not in it. You're bringing Chelsea, yes. You're bringing Manchester City, okay. Real Madrid, okay. But where is Liverpool? Where is Inter? Where is Napoli? To me, I've always wanted this situation to be the best of that season. I've always, how about now? Is it a little bit better? It says, it feels like you're talking far from your mic. Man, I need to figure out how the mic is going to be better anyway. Okay, let me do this. Maybe this is going to be better. Maybe it faces me. How about now? So yeah, there's a lot of problems that we are going through in football in general. A lot of problems. Sorry guys, I'm gonna move you guys a little bit. I'm trying to make sure I can put in because we still have a lot of things to talk about today. Yeah, there's a lot of problems happening. that we need to talk about. You get the Champions League are facing the FIFA World Cup club are facing a whole slew of problems. A whole slew of problems. And that's something that we need to solve. They're having problems in selling. Do you know how bad that is? You're having problems in selling a competition that includes one of the greatest players of all time. It's in Miami. It's in Miami, for crying out loud. This should not even be a thing. We should not be thinking, we should be having problems in making sure that people are, jeez, in making sure that the police have a what do you call it, a grasp on how much they can allow in. That's how much we need to, it should be. It should be a situation where people are begging for tickets. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually looking at tickets right now because I want to actually take you guys on a trip to this situation. I want to actually show you guys what is actually happening in the Club World Cup. I want to actually show you guys and bring you guys through it. That's my goal. Now, it might be a little harder for us to do because we are a smaller channel, and moving those kind of boxes and moving things around will be hard. But that's something else. Plus, another thing that we haven't even spoken about today is Rafael Leao. Rafael Leao. Rafael Leao has told AC Milan that he wants to leave. He has given in and handed in his transfer request. He wants to leave AC Milan. And who is in for him? You get me? Who is in for Rafael Leao? The people that you guys already know. How do you even spell Leao again? The folks that you guys already know. Rafael Leao is ready to leave. Bayern Munich looking at Rafael Leao. Imagine Bayern Munich actually gets Rafael Leao. They are going to be having Leao on the left-hand side and Michael Olise on the right. Who says Bayern is not going to be back challenging for the Champions League? It's rumored that Rafael Leao is looking at joining Bayern or is trying to leave. And what Bayern is basically preparing is a £75 million bid. Well, of course, with a player or something for Leao. Don't get me wrong, that's a talented footballer. A talented footballer. Leao and Michael Olise on the same pitch. That's just nasty work. It would be. It truly would. And then you also see the likes of Kepa Asparal-Balaga. Kepa joining Arsenal as the backup goalkeeper. Do you guys understand how good Kepa is? Of course, after leaving Chelsea, he found his foot. What he did with Bournemouth, this season was impressive. It was. And now he's going to join Arsenal as a backup goalkeeper. But one thing is for sure, he will have an opportunity to show that he's the number one goalkeeper. That's for sure. That's for dang sure. And if he does that, that's another addition to Arsenal's great side already. That's another addition to Arsenal's great side already. And that's what makes me kind of just scratch my head and I'm like, yo, United, do something. United, do something. Let's see something. Like I understand that United have been dilly-dallying on Gyökeres and biding their time, which I agree that they need to do so they can actually go into this with a better negotiation. But I also think it might be problematic. I also think it might be problematic, and that is where my worries come from. Because Manchester United need to be acting a little bit faster than we are right now. We do. We truly do. You get me? We truly, truly do. And how will Manchester United get there? We actually have to focus on building from the inside, building from inside going out. Now we are going to watch a bit and just react to what, um, of course, Andy Meaton, who is kind of legendary in terms of this space, as he speaks to Omar Ben Rada. Because I think we need to talk to him a little bit more. We need to focus on our leaders a little bit more. You get me? It's not a joke. Plus, we need a lot more help. Ruben does. You understand? I'm going to get that and I'm going to react to it for you guys. But it is problematic and it's so time consuming to think about Manchester United going through this again. We need to be faster. We need to start moving mountains when it comes to Manchester United getting things done. We truly do. If not, we are going to be left behind. And nobody wants that. We are united. The Premier League is better when we are on top. I will argue that with anybody. I would. That's why I'm like, please, good gracious, let's figure it out quicker. Anyway, just let me know in the chat what you guys want me to kind of focus on or want me to talk about in this video, because this is a Saturday night live. It's not night yet, but it's a Saturday night, a Saturday evening live. And so we are basically going to be talking about a lot of things today. Football in general. The US absolutely doing a clanger against Turkey. What are you thinking? My God. They piss me off so much in the US sometimes. This US team. What are you doing there? Ay, how do you smell? Well, yeah, that's football for you. Adargula scored the easiest goal he would ever score. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys want me to talk about down in the chat. I'm definitely paying attention to the chat. I think I finally figured out how I can actually see it happening. Oh yeah, the Nations League final is tomorrow, and Cristiano Ronaldo has an opportunity to actually win it for the second time in a running. So that's pretty good. Unfortunately, what I would say in this situation is like it's tough for me to actually go in there and be like, okay, this is what is happening. For Cristiano especially. Because this is where this team they need to protect him. They need to carry him. This Portuguese team, they need to carry him. It's not a situation where Cristiano can do it all by himself again. He just can't. He doesn't have the pace. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the sharpness to do it. So this team absolutely they need to help Cristiano tomorrow. They are going against Spain. Yamal, who is basically someone that everybody looks like as the next best thing, the next Messi, the next Ballon d'Or winner. This Portuguese team with the likes of Rafael Leao, Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, Bruno Fernandes, Conceição, Diaz, Gonçalo Ramos. All this team, they absolutely need to get Cristiano over the line. They do. Just because he has given them so much years, inspiration, carrying them for a long time. For 40 years. And so they need to do it for him tomorrow. They sure do. They sure do need to do it for Cristiano tomorrow. Now, news has just dropped where Fabrizio Romano, Tottenham Hotspur are aware of Thomas Frank's position. He wants the job and he's keen on becoming the new Spurs coach. Let me tell you this. This will be absolutely beautiful piece of work from Dan Levy. I never praise Dan Levy for anything because I think he does more harm than good when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur. However, letting go of Ante Postecoglou and replacing him with Super Frank, and I'm not talking about Frank Lampard, I'm talking about Thomas Frank, will be a stroke of genius. It truly would be. It would be. Thomas Frank and what he has been able to do with Brentford is remarkable. Utterly remarkable. This is a cat that came into the league with Brentford, kept them up with Brentford, lost a lot of superstars, and same thing with that same Brentford had what a amazing season this year. He has lost Ivan Toney, and he basically revamped the attacking side and made it even better. I think Brentford was the only team in the Premier League this season to actually have 3 players in double figures. 3 players in double figures. And I'm not talking about easy double figures, where somebody gets like 10 or maybe 9.5. I don't know how you get 9.5 in a Premier League side when it comes to gold, but the likes of Brian Mbeumo, of course, he was there while Ivan Toney was. But we did not know Brian Mbeumo was that. I looked at Brian Mbeumo as a B-Tech Iron Robin, somebody that could only use his left foot. But guess what? Brian Mbeumo scored, I believe, 3 goals this season with his right. I looked at Brian Mbeumo as somebody that was a B-Tech Iron Robin, I repeat, that all he knows how to do is to cut to his left. And if you don't let him cut to his left, you have absolutely shut him down. But guess what? He got assist with his right foot. He got assist in actually going down the bar line. He got assist with you, a defender, knowing that he's going to cut to the left-hand side, but not able to stop him. That's Brian Mbeumo. And that's who might be coming to Manchester United. But this point, it's not about Brian Mbeumo exactly. It's about Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank, my word. He literally redesigned this striking side because he usually plays like a certain situation and a certain formation. But the formation is so interchangeable that you never knew where Wissa was starting, where he would end. You never knew where Adeshade, whatever they call his name, I've never known how to pronounce it, but the Nigerian style of calling Shade, you never knew where he started or ended. You never knew where Brian Mbeumo started and ended. And it worked out so successful that those three players had double figures in goals. In the Premier League, one team had three players in double figures. Arsenal did not do that. Manchester City, I believe, did not do that. Manchester United did not do that. In fact, Manchester United did not even score more than half of those three guys put together. Because Brian Mbeumo scored 20. I think Wissa, I don't know how many Wissa scored, but you guys, I'm sure you will let me know in the chat how many did Wissa score and how many did Shad score. I think Shad scored about 11 to 12. But I believe Wissa was the highest goal scorer, if I'm not mistaken. Those three guys alone probably got more goals than Manchester United in their entire campaign. And so when they say Thomas Frank could be going to Tottenham Hotspur, I'm like, yes, do that. Because he's a manager that does so well with less. And guess what is going to happen? Tottenham are going to continue with not giving their managers the players that they deserve. And so when they continue doing that, at least Thomas Frank can say, I've done more with less. He can say that fully with his chest and not blink. But guess what? There are a lot of things that would need to happen. One thing is for sure, Thomas Frank has always wanted a very, very physical right back and left back. So that's the key part. He needs a very, very fast and a technical gifted left and right winger. And then he basically can figure it out from there. Because Brentford are hard to beat. They're defensively sound. Every single person playing in Brentford understands their tactical parts of the game. He keeps it very simple, but very, very effective. And that to me is a sign of a really good coach. That to me is a sign of a coach that is ready to take on the next step. That to me is a sign of a coach that is ready. He is ready to be the Spurs manager. That to me is a sign. And that is going to be impressive. It truly will be. Thomas Frank joining Tottenham Hotspur. I believe he's the ideal candidate. I know a lot of people will be like, okay, how about the Zerbi? What? The Zerbi? The Zerbi will not last till Christmas. Why would you ask that? Oh, why would you say that? Bro, De Zerbi fights with every single person in every single place. He fights with every single owner that has hired him into the club. Within the last 30 or last 3 months, he will fight with you. De Zerbi is very combustible. And guess what? Danny Levy is not going to accept that. He just won't. He just won't. Okay, so now it says here, I think this is from AFTV actually, um, which is always a good watch. Is the sound not good? It keep on saying sound, sound, sound. Guys, let me know what the sound, if it's any better. How about now? Is the sound any better? Because I want you guys to actually hear, because this Saturdays are usually the best time for the live, because every single person is at home enjoying, and we are talking about a lot of things in the sport of world. So Jesus, in the sport of world, but in the world of sport. So guys, let me know in the chat if actually the sound is good, or maybe I can just even find out myself. Let me see. I think the sound is better. So he basically says here, Arsenal are considering a move for Mohamed Kudus. Oh my God. Let me say this. If Arsenal gets Mohamed Kudus, I think Arsenal might have just figured out how to get a really good player. Arsenal might have just figured out the best players are usually um, from the Premier League. See, Mohamed Kudus is a magician. Mohamed Kudus, a magician. It is not joke. I'm not joking about when I say this. This kid is so good that it hurts me and it pains me every time that I think about it. That Eric Ten Hag had an opportunity to bring Mohamed Kudus to Manchester United, and he chose to bring Anthony. Kudus is a Ghanaian, and usually it's really tough for us and for Africans to actually just like make it in the Premier League, make it big, where like the flair, the dribbles, the way we play on the pitch without soccer clits actually translates into Premier League football. But guess what? Mohamed Kudus have figured out the way. And that's how good this dude is. And so if Arsenal are actually going in for him, I think it's a brilliant idea. He can play any part of that top three. Literally any part of that top three. Are you telling me he's going to be a backup for Bukayo Saka? He can play that. Um, Emmanuel says we can't hear you. Why can't you hear me, man? This is really giving me problems now. Like everybody is saying sound, 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 bro. Bro, like can you guys hear me? Like I've literally turned off my mic. I wanted you guys to basically hear it from from the camera itself. But can you guys actually hear me? I wonder why we are having problems with sound today. But like I'm watching it and I can hear myself. Maybe you do like a refresh or something. Because I think I'm good on my side. I can still also hear like, let's see, maybe if I increase it a little bit more. How about now? All right. Right now I'm also taking kind of conversations. I'm taking questions, so you guys can basically ask the conversation and ask questions. I'm always here to answer them. Um, Orlando basically says he says you should go, or he should go. Indisciplined boy, shame on him for disregarding the opportunity given to him. It's a troubling fact for Garnacho. I'm not going to lie. It is disheartening for me to see somebody that is that good, that well of a player squander a chance of a lifetime. I want you guys to understand, right, that when you have a moment at Manchester United, that moment is going to be remembered for the rest of your life. Generations upon generations are going to be speaking about that same moment. Federico Mekeda, he unfortunately did not have the career that he was meant to have. But guys, when I even say that name, Mekeda, we all do have like flashbacks against him scoring the perfect goal for Manchester United to win the Premier League. He goes on not to have a really good career. But when I tell you this, that goal will forever put money in his pocket. It will forever put money in his pocket. His image rights, come on now. It's okay now. I can hear you clearly. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you. I'm glad it's a little bit better now because I think I had to like increase the dial while I'm using the mic so you guys can actually hear. But I have to be careful so I do not yell at the mic so the sound is not too loud. Um, Watching and listening attentive from Mam Robbie Accra Orlando. United forever. United. Say I think Sancho could come in handy. Is that what you're trying to say, Emmanuel? Brother, we are name six. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. Jadon Sancho to stay at Manchester United. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, come on, brother. I hope that's not what you're saying. I really do hope that's not what you're saying because, bro, this guy, Jadon Sancho, has proven, oh my God. Bro, when Jadon Sancho came to Manchester United and how long we have been longing for Jadon Sancho. I thought this guy was going to be the next thing, the next person to wear the number 7 shirt. I was excited because that season at Dortmund, Jadon Sancho had numbers comparable to Messi. He had numbers comparable to Messi. And guess what? He became a freedom fighter. Nothing wrong with fighting for freedom. But when it's against your team, when it's against Manchester United, now it becomes irritating. Now there's no way back. This would have been a perfect system. Emmanuel just says it here. Yeah, he fits the system. Attitude might be the only worry. That's what Emmanuel says. But that's the biggest part of it. Jadon Sancho would fit this system like, oh my God. He will fit the system like a glove. But when you bail on Manchester United when Manchester United need you the most, I don't think you deserve to come back. I don't think you deserve to come back. Fine with you leaving. I'm fine with you leaving. We have lost Cristiano Ronaldo, by the way. We have lost David Beckham. We have lost Roy Keane, lost Rooney, lost Gig. We can afford to lose Jadon Sancho. We can afford to lose Jadon Sancho because nobody will ever be bigger than Manchester United. No player. I refuse. I refuse. It's quite sad because I felt he was going to go to Chelsea. I truly felt that. I was like, it just works. It works perfectly. He has to go to Chelsea now. They were ready to pay the 25 million. It just works. But guess what? He doesn't want to take a pay cut. He doesn't want to take a pay cut. And so when you don't want to take a pay cut, it's fine. Now you come back to Manchester United, you're not going to play. You're now taxed to go find a club for yourself. You're taxed to go find a club for yourself. And I hope he finds something that would work well for him. If not, he is going straight. He is going straight to Saudi. Orlando says no player is bigger than United. Period. 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 Whatever that meme is. No player is bigger than Manchester United. Why the heck is Matt Chapman trending? Oh, baseball. I thought it was because of Collar Daddy or whatever the podcast is. But no, it's a problem. No player is bigger than Manchester United. Nobody. And so with that said, we need to absolutely make sure that the team is strong enough. And guess what? If we had lost Bruno Fernandes, I would be fine too. Now I'll be livid, I'll be angry because he's the best player that we got, and we should be adding on players instead of removing them. But why do I say this? I truly believe that Manchester United need to start taking this team the way PSG took their team. The way PSG took their team, PSG made it crystal clear. Guys, you guys are not listening to me. PSG made it crystal clear to every single player on that team that it is a team game. There's no superstar on this team. And guess what Luis Enrique did? The first thing he did coming into that team was suspend the biggest player on that team, the most paid on that team in Dembele. In a Champions League game against Arsenal, he suspended Dembele just to make sure that every single person knows it's a team game. And guess what happened? They brought Kvaratskhelia in January, and Kvara fit perfectly in. Everybody fighting for the same cause. And so if you do not want to play for Manchester United, bye. If you don't want to, that's fine. Same goes for Garnacho. The attitude, everybody needs to be facing that way. Yeah, that way. Barcola was angry that he did not start against Arsenal in the Champions League semi-finals. Bench. The way Dembele played against Inter is not going to be spoken about enough. Enrique said that Dembele deserves the Ballon d'Or just because of his defensive duties against Inter. And I agree. Not with the Ballon d'Or part, but with the essence and thought process of how good his defensive duties were. What? Right, this guy was running from start to finish. Bear in mind, he had a hamstring injury. He had a hamstring injury that was devastating. But that did not stop him. It didn't stop him whatsoever. I will have to give Viktor Osimhen some credits, though. He went to Galatasaray on loan and absolutely won the Turkish league. And won it in style. Because he absolutely went there and kept on banging in goals, even when the likes of what's his name was not there. Mario Icardi. When Galatasaray lost Mario Icardi, he stepped up and has been stepping up ever since he got there. That's how crazy good he has been. And for me, him going to Saudi, that was my dream. But I know it's not my dream anyway. Do you understand? And I understand. I'll be Niger boy and everything. Otilo, that money, loud. That money loud, gun. You get me? Now let's go and let's look at what Dave Ornstein actually has to say. Because usually he doesn't give you like updates. He just gives you the bomber. It's like, boom, this is done. This is done. This is done. And that's usually kind of really good for, not very good for content, but really good to know that this deal is actually done. Chelsea make a bid to sign Jamie Gittins from Borussia Dortmund. No club-to-club agreement, but talks ongoing, plus a deal with England Youth International. 7-year contract. The 20-year-old Borussia BVB winger keen on joining Chelsea. How are they still giving out a 7-year contract for crying out loud? For crying out loud, how are they still doing this? I don't understand. They absolutely scathed over the whole idea of PSR because they could lose over 325 million euros this summer and still be okay. Or that's when they actually get into a problem with PSR. That's actually when they get into a problem with PSR. It is mind-blowing. I'm impressed. That's how much I'm impressed with these kids. The kids in Chelsea doing the big one. After spending £1 billion within last 2 years. £1 billion. Anyway, Robert Vlanaman to be sacked as Tottenham Hotspur's women's team head coach. Decision on 42-year-old Swedish boss follows, finishing first place above relegation. Plus, it comes a day after Ange Postecoglou dismissed from the Tottenham men's setup. This year has been very bad for Tottenham Hotspur, in the league anyway. Because their men's team gets 17th place. And their women's team, I almost said female, my bad. Their women's team comes in equivalent to what the men's team gets. And their two managers are going to get fired. That is crazy work. I don't think anybody has ever done that. But kudos to Tottenham. Kudos to Tottenham Hotspur because they always break records. They always break records. Now let's go to Arsenal. Arsenal to sign Kepa Arrizabalaga. Arrizabalaga. I hope that's the better way to pronounce it. From Chelsea. Deal in process of being finalized after 30-year-old Spanish goalkeeper agreed to join AFC and fight for place. £5 million in release clause in Chelsea contract will need activating. So this is definitely one to look out for. Because Kepa might be going to the Gunners. And I think that's impressive anyway. I think that's impressive because he is a good goalkeeper. For what we saw with him at Aston Villa, not Aston Villa, but Bournemouth, he was impressive. Now he's not going to be the number one goalkeeper that we thought he was going to be at going to Chelsea. Of course, that money that they paid for him is just outrageous to even think about. But going to Arsenal, he would definitely sharpen David Raya's game for sure, especially when it comes to just keeping it clean and actually playing football the way you're meant to be playing it. Tottenham Hotspur expects to make a decision on new head coach a week after Ange Postecoglou's departure. Brentford boss Thomas Frank, leading contender to succeed the Australian. No contact yet between Tottenham Hotspur and Brentford over the Danish manager. That's such a good deal. We have already spoken about Thomas Frank and how good he will be for Tottenham. He will be so good. He'll be so good, mate. So good. Ange Postecoglou to be sacked as Tottenham head coach. It's quite disappointing. But guess what? They need to build a statue for that dude. They need to build a statue, at least a small statue, inside the building. Because Ange Postecoglou, he wins a trophy for Tottenham Hotspur. He changed the trajectory of Tottenham. I think that's what even Son said. He changed the trajectory of Tottenham Hotspur. Changed it. That trophy, that European trophy, on its own is massive. It's massive. Liverpool rebuffed Barcelona's approach to discussing signing Luis Diaz. FC Barcelona made contact yesterday, but Liverpool Football Club player are not for sale. New contract unlikely. So unless bids land to change stance, the 28-year-old stays even if he lands to free agency. If he leads to free agency, that's crazy. I know he's 28. He's still a good player. Why don't you don't need him. You got Cody Gakpo. I don't understand what Liverpool are doing. You can sell him to Barcelona now and basically recoup some of the money that you're going to be spending on Florian Wirtz. Sell him to Barcelona. He's 28 years of age. He's not going to get any better. You understand? Maybe his peak is at 30. But I believe he's at his peak right now. Let him go to Barcelona and then ride out. By the way, I think he's a really good player. One of the best Colombians I've seen in a very long time. But that's shout out to Luis Diaz. Now, this is basically, I think this was about 2 days ago, but this is Dave Ornstein still. Man United have submitted an offer to sign Brian Mbeumo from Brentford for £45 million plus £10 million in add-ons. But I think that we have actually done a little bit better in terms of the new bid. I think the bid is worth now, the new bid is worth £60 million. Brentford, however, I believe, they want around 62, basically around what Mateus Cunha got. Because if Cunha basically got 62 and he scored about 15 goals in a season, Brian Mbeumo scored 20. And so they basically feel like they want the same or even if a little bit more. So that's kind of definitely what is happening with Brian Mbeumo. However, in my opinion, I think Brian Mbeumo is on 1 year of his contract. Brentford has the option for an additional year. But in my mind, I think it will be stupid if we go higher than 60. I truly do. I think maybe the highest is 62. Spread out in 5 years. Since you want to act like that. £62 million spread out in 5 years with maybe an addition of. So in fact, that would not even be that. I'll basically do it at 55 or 52 guaranteed and then 10 in add-ons. And maybe the add-ons could be like if he wins the Ballon d'Or or he takes Manchester United to the Champions League final. Or maybe if he gets 35 goals, then I'll be fine with it. Now, funny enough, about this Brian Mbeumo situation, a lot of people have been talking about him getting or wanting 250 million or 250,000 pounds per week. What I've heard is that that's bullshit. What I've heard so far about this situation is that is absolutely ridiculous. You understand? I heard a situation where he's going to be getting around 160 that can then rise based on bonuses to 200 and based on extra bonuses to 250. But guess what? If Manchester United have gotten to the point where they need to pay Brian Mbeumo 250, Brian Mbeumo probably is giving us 25 goals a season, 10 assists, and is leading us to the Premier League trophy. Hershey Dallo says, can I ask you a question, please? Please go ahead. Please ask the question. I'm all ears. That's what it's here for. The live chat and the live is very interactive. I answer every questions, and we definitely get to talk about life and sport in general. De La Fuente, what a coach, by the way. What a coach. Um, let's see. Oh man. By the way, I think England played against Andorra today. If I'm not mistaken. I think they played against Andorra. I haven't watched it. Yeah, England won 1-0. And of course, we know Tijani Reinders is going to Tijani Reinders is going to be having his medical on Sunday. All right, so the question is in. He said, do you think that we sign Mbeumo, Gyökeres? Huh? Do you think that we will sign Mbeumo and Gyökeres? Things have cooled off since the last 3 days for Mbeumo, whereas for Gyökeres, it seems it's only rumors. Okay, that's a really good question. Really good question, and I'm going to answer it to the best of my knowledge without giving any speculation. First things first, Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo has already given his preference to Brentford. And so as he has given his preference to Brentford, what tends to happen in that situation is he has had conversations with Manchester United and he has already agreed on the deal and um, kind of the project in terms of him being an important player for Manchester United. And so Manchester United now would have to go to Brentford and start negotiating the deal for Mbeumo. Brentford had Mbeumo at around 50 million at the start of the season. So if you wanted him, you had to come pay 50 million. However, there is no release clause. There's no release clause in this situation. And so the price can go high or could drop. With Manchester United buying Matheus Cunha for 62.5 million, Brentford raised the price. They want something similar because they believe Brian Mbeumo is off the talent, or if not better, than Matheus Cunha in their estimation. So they estimated it to be about 70 million. Now, Manchester United have gone in to actually negotiate, and we sent in two bids. The first bid was 45 million plus 10 millions in add-ons, and the second one, I believe, is 55 plus 10 or 52 plus 10 million in add-on. I think the entire deal was for 60 million in terms of its worth. Now, we haven't heard anything about them agreeing it, but that's also because that we have come into the weekend and we have come into kind of like a stalemate where people are trying to make things happen, especially because Brentford have just sold sold Flanagan and brought in Kelleher. So they were dealing with their own transfer. And so I believe this is the time where they start talking about Brian Mbeumo again. Now for Gyökeres, what is really happening is Gyökeres and Manchester United were keen on each other before the Europa League final. Manchester United loses the Europa League final. Bro, I hope you're paying attention. I'm trying to explain it a little bit more so you can get like the timeline of what things are happening. So bear with me. I mean, if it's a little long-winded. So Gyökeres wants Champions League football. Manchester United do not qualify for the Champions League because we lost in the Europa League. And so things get a little bit thirsty. However, he's still open because he loves the coach. You understand? He's still open because he loves the coach. And not just that, because Arsenal, being the front runners at one point, started focusing more on Benjamin Šeško. They started focusing more on Benjamin Šeško. As they were focusing more on Benjamin Šeško, it basically just opened to the mindset that Gyökeres is now kind of like a free run for Manchester United. And so I think his people then put it out there that, hey, bro, can actually do without Champions League. You understand? Because what happens in that situation is Liam Delap went to Chelsea. Arsenal are focusing on Gyökeres. Liverpool are focusing on Ekitike. Newcastle have Alexander Isak. Manchester City have Haaland and Omar Mahmoud. There's only one club left. Except we then start seeing the likes of PSG coming into the race. So there's a lot of moving parts in this situation. Now, for Gyökeres, it's a gentleman's agreement that we can get him for around 65 to 70, I think 59 to 70-ish million. That also gets really tricky because if they go back on their word, then that also is a problem. But I think the Gyökeres deal will start flowing a lot quicker once two things happen. If Arsenal complete the deal for Benjamin Šeško, and if Viktor Osimhen goes to Al Hilal, I think the dominoes will start falling. And then I believe he will realize that Manchester United is a place that he needs to actually consider. But guess what? In that situation, Manchester United then holds a little bit better of a card because now they realize that, we have your former coach that you love and you trust. We are Manchester United and we are playing in the Premier League that you want to join. what tends to happen in that situation is Manchester United can now go in and do have like a better negotiation instead of giving him like crazy amounts in his what do you call it, his wages. Then we can have conversations in terms of putting those extra numbers in bonuses. But then the hardest part is when PSG comes back into the race, because I believe PSG are going to be letting go of Kolo Muani, hopefully to Juventus. And then you will see them actually start looking for a striker. Now, PSG do not play, they did not play with a striker this season. The likes of Dembele, Doué, Kvaratskhelia looks like a better tandem than them actually having a top nine. So that might be a little bit too expensive for what would be seen as a cherry on the top of the cake or the top of the ice cream kind of signing. But for Manchester United, it's absolutely crucial because if we do not have a number nine, I think Manchester United will play with Joshua Zirkzee, and that might make the system a little bit different. Now, don't get me wrong. Um, I, I was working with this situation. I hope you guys can still hear me. I was working with this situation since yesterday. I don't know if you can see this, but this is what we are working at as Manchester United right now. And so this is the full lineup. So the 3-2 wing backs, two on the side, and then hopefully Gyökeres. If it's not Gyökeres, what we will start seeing is a tweak of the system. You get me? What we'll start seeing is a tweak of the system because this is basically Joshua Zirkzee. Oh my God, he's already tripping. This is Joshua Zirkzee because I think Rasmus Højlund is going to be having a lot of problems in actually playing for Manchester United next season. But what we will see is Gyökeres, Joshua Zirkzee kind of dropping back and having Brian Mbeumo and Mateus Cunha move like that. So the system might change in creating more of like a three midfield and a two striking situation. Just like what we see Brian Mbeumo do at Brentford. Because Brian and Wisa have absolutely torn the league into shreds. So this is what could happen if Gyökeres doesn't join Manchester United. But I think it might be a situation where Gyökeres joins and then we see something like this more often. Because when we do this, what we tend to see is, because he is a big lad, there's more of a defensive kind of unit. There's more coverage. There's more bodies in the midfield. But then what usually happens is the triangle then kind of moves into this kind of more of a situation. You get me? It kind of has the triangle then moves to be, let me take it up here. It kind of moves to be more of the wing back, the number 10, or the one of the number 10s, the number 9, and the wing back position, with then having these guys move a little bit upper or this nature to kind of support. So that's kind of what I think would happen in this situation, but I still believe that Gyökeres would make it to Manchester United. I know that was long-winded, but did that answer your question? Hopefully it did. Sorry, guys. When it comes to talking about football, it just keeps on going for me. It just keeps on going for me. Um, of course, we got news. So Xerxes is a false nine. Do you think? This is from Harshly. Xerxes is a false nine. Do you think the fact that Gyökeres did not do well for Coventry proves that he's not the man for us? I'm afraid also that might be the next. He might be the next Nunes. I think that's a good concern. I really think. Sorry, let me drink something. I really think it's a good concern because what he did at Coventry was not very bad. But in fact, let's see. Um, Gyökeres at Coventry. Because one thing is for sure, he wasn't doing what he was doing or what he's doing right now, Coventry. He definitely wasn't doing that. So I think the stats for him at Coventry, let's see, because I think it's quite impressive. based on who he is and based on what he has done right now. Um, man, move, bro. There's so much stuff in terms of these ads. Just give me what I need. All right. Because in my mind, okay, so this is crazy work. So in Coventry, everybody kind of says he did bad in Coventry, or he did not do well in Coventry. But in Coventry, he had 116 games, he had 43 goals and 17 assists. Do you, that is an average striker. You understand? That's average numbers for a striker. 116 games, 43 goals, and 17 assists. That is not a bad striker whatsoever. You understand? Bro, it's never a bother. I don't get me wrong, it's never a bother, bruv. We can do this all day. See, I'm sorry for bothering you with the questions, but how in the world are we not hearing about Onana leaving and are the rumors about Emi Martinez coming true? Well, we have actually heard about Andre Onana leaving. We had more rumors come this today that Andre Onana has basically been told that he can leave Manchester United. But the sad part about it is, before we let Andre Onana go, the question is, who is coming to get Andre? Who is coming to get Andre Onana? That's the hard part. It's selling them that is the hard part. You get me? Andre Onana has been conversated with Saudi, but we haven't heard anything concrete of that situation. And don't get me wrong, I might be even fine with putting all our eggs in buying outfield players and replacing Andre Onana after one more year. You understand? Replacing Andre Onana after one more year. Um, I think that might be a lot easier for us to actually do because we have a lot of things to do this summer. A lot of players to lose, a lot of players to sell, a lot of people to bring in. And I think Andre Onana, being that he's not the manager, he's not the coach or not the goalkeeper that Ruben Amorim wants, but I still think he's good enough. Last season, he had the highest, not this season that just passed, but the previous season, he had the highest save rate in the Premier League. Well, of course, we know what he did in the Champions League, so we are not going to talk about that. But he's not a bad goalkeeper. I don't know what has happened in Manchester United, but it's just sad for me to think. Anyway, I hope that answers it. Fabrizio Romano says, story confirmed. Tijani Reinders will undergo the medical test as new Manchester City player. I'm flying. He basically says, he said, I'm flying to Manchester in the morning and then I'll be back in Zest in the evening. What the heck is a Zest? Sounds like zesty. Sounds like zesty. Okay, so Ashley basically says here, it says, Emi Martinez, Matez Delict, Martinez, Yoro, um, Mazarawi, Ugarte, Bruno, Dogu, Mbemo, Gyökeres, Cunha, your thoughts? Well, let me see it. Let me see. Usually I like to kind of write my this thing down. So you're basically saying Emi Martinez as the goal, Delict as the center back, I believe. Delict, Martinez as the left, Euro as the right. Is that okay so far? And then we are looking at you say Mazarawi as your right wing back and Dogu as your left wing back. And then for the center midfield, you're looking at Ugarte and Bruno. And for your wing, for your 2 10s, we're looking at Buemo and Punya, and then Gyökeres. Okay. See, in this situation, I would say that you got everything that I would do, but I would change some things. Gyökeres would absolutely be my second choice striker. Funny enough, my first choice striker for Manchester United is 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 Viktor Osimhen. But let's focus on Gyökeres. Cunha, absolutely. The left-hand side for Cunha is absolutely his bread and butter. I would take that every day. Brandon Buemo, absolutely. That front three is perfect. It's literally the trident that absolutely holds our crest. That is what it would be. You get me? Now in the midfield, I think is very smart. However, would I want to upgrade in Ugarte's position? Absolutely. Because I do believe that this system, we need a lot more ball playing players than not. And so the likes of Edison would actually be somebody I would bring in ahead of Ugarte. So Ugarte will be the backup. Ugarte will be in a situation where we know we are playing against Liverpool or we're playing against Manchester City, and we want to make sure that we do not lose the game. We'll bring Ugarte on. So Edison will be my first introduction in this team. The next introduction will be me removing Mazarawi, right? Me removing Mazarawi to the bench and putting Amad Diallo. You understand? I think the triangle of Ahmad, Edison, and Obuemo will be so lethal that a lot of teams will be scared just having their name on the team sheet. That triangle right there, because bear in mind, this is what Patu, what's up, man? Bear in mind, I'm going to answer the questions, please. Just give me 1 second. Bear in mind, what Ruben Amorim is going to be trying to play this summer or this year would have triangles all over the pitch. I want you guys to hear it from me first. You guys will be able to see the triangles, every single part of the pitch. You're going to have, just basically draw a line in the middle of the pitch. You're going to have Bruno Dogu Cunha. Hopefully, Ahmad, Edison, Umbuemo, Cunha, Gyökeres. That is what you're going to see. There's going to always be a triangle when Manchester United have the ball. And so I'm going to remove Mazarawi and put Ahmad in that position. And it's going to be Yoro, Matthias de Ligt. Funny enough, I think Maguire might start instead of Matthias de Ligt. But I think the Ligt is still good for me because I actually think he's going to be better. And then we might be seeing a battle of Aiden Heaven. I know this is a crazy shout. Aiden Heaven versus Martinez on who is going to be the starting left-sided center back. One thing is for sure, Amorim likes bigger center backs that can actually drive in, and he has two in Aiden Heaven and Martinez. So that's definitely something, apart from the big part for Martinez. But that will be my lineup. So Ahmad, Edison, Buemo, Gyökeres, Cunha, Yoro, Maguire, Martinez, Dogu. And for the goalkeeper, funny enough, I don't really love Emi Martinez like that, but I'll be okay with him if he's in Manchester United. Patu says, "What's up, brother? What's up, brother? I think Bruno Ugarte can work, but need to bring some physicality in the midfield, and that is exactly true. You understand? Bruno Fernandes is the guy, is the midfielder that absolutely wants to try stuff. You understand me? He wants to try stuff. He wants to move the pitch. He wants to understand that it is moving. He wants to know that there's something going on. You understand me? And that's why I cried out for This guy, he was at Everton at the time. If you guys can guess him, put it in the chat. He was at Everton. He's the perfect midfielder for that position. You understand? Perfect midfielder for that position that I have watched anyway. His name is Amadou Onana. Amadou Onana would have been perfect with Bruno because he's tenacious enough to play the role of a defensive midfielder. He's technically gifted to play the role of you got it, bruh. You got it, Katu. He's technically gifted to play the role of a deep line playmaker. He is strong enough to run forward and be arriving late in the box to finish. And most especially, he can cover grass. He can cover grass like no other. He can cover grass so much like you think it's him wrapping a lift. I hope you guys did not get that. If you're a kid, please do not get that reference. Ashley says, brother, I think Ugarte will come good. He had difficulties because it's his first season. And with the change of manager and the difficult season we have, it wasn't easy for him. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I've seen Ugarte actually play really good football. I've seen him be doing it. Now his bread and butter is actually playing short 5-yard passes. But if he can do that, we can actually have him come out good. Patu definitely got the name right. It was Onana I was talking about. Ashley says, I agree. Ahmad for Mazarawi. I agree for Haven because Licha has not been excellent form this season, though he did not play a lot. I disagree, Maguire for Delict, but Maguire is a very good kudos to him. You are absolutely right on every single situation. Why do I say that? Because the Martinez participation is why I'm a little bit skeptical about Martinez is because of his height. Now he's a big body that goes up and win his dues. So if he can prove that that's not going to be a problem, then that will be fine. But Manchester United have a really small team. Mbeumo, less than 6 foot. Gyökeres, 6 foot. Cunha, 6 foot. Dogu, about 5'11". Delict, 6 foot. Yoro, 6'3", I believe. Bruno, less than 6 foot. Ahmad, less than 6 foot. Ugarte, less than 6 foot. That is one of the reasons that we suffer in set pieces. It's one of the reasons we suffer in set pieces. And so, Aiden Heaven coming into the game, being 6'2", having the ability to actually move forward helps us physically. And bringing in the likes of Edison or Onana helps us also in that situation. We need giants in this peak. Harshly says, well said. Onana was a poison for us when he played against very physical, very physical. And Amadou Onana is lethal. He's lethal. With Villa struggling with FFP, we should be all over Onana. Yes, they definitely are struggling. I think they are the only team in red, which is because they definitely did not qualify for the Champions League. But for their squad to be that bloated in terms of the wages, it's mind blowing, man. It is. Because of course, what happens is they get into Champions League, it blows up their wages because now they have to pay them 25% more, I believe. And they brought in the likes of Marcus Rashford, um, what's this guy, Asensio. All those things did not do them favors whatsoever. Believe me, it is a blessing in disguise that Manchester United did not win the Europa League. This season will be a threat in the league. Let others love at us or laugh at us. Um, at the end of the season, we will be there. Now that is the only positive that came out of last season. That Manchester United will have literally a full week of preparation to prepare for one game at the end of the week. Now, let's say Manchester United have a game on Saturday. Because guess what? We are going to be playing majority of games on Saturday because we did not qualify for the Champions League. We get a game on Saturday, right? We have the guys have a break on Sunday and probably have like a half day on Monday, right? So what we basically would have in that situation is we will have training on Tuesday, we'll have training on Wednesday, we would have training on Thursday, and then we would have kind of video work on Friday. You understand? Video work and basically fitness on Friday. And then we basically play on Saturday. Bro, we are going to be having a full-fledged week to prepare. So usually what we would do, because guys, bear in mind, I'm trying to be a coach. That is definitely the dream right now. Um, the usually way I would prepare kind of my situation. And by the way, when I'm looking down, I'm not looking down to do, I'm basically writing it down. So I kind of explain it better because usually I'm a little bit better at explaining while I'm writing. So um Monday would be a situation of us having training. So not a full-fledged training, but running, um, kind of passing drills. You understand? Passing drills, drills not full-fledged because they just came back from um okay, let me not even do that. It will be not Monday wouldn't be a full-fledged training, it will be more of recovery. So we're going to be having more of recovery on Monday, and then we're going to be having a lot of kind of talking about what happened in the previous game and kind of mapping it out what happened in the previous game. Patu says, "Good night, my man. Good chat. Good Portugal lifting the Nations League tomorrow. Vamos! We need them to win it. We need them to actually win it because I want them to do it for Cristiano. I truly do. He has definitely worked his butt off for that Portuguese, for Portugal in general. They need to carry him to another one. You get me? They do. I think they absolutely need it. And so that's definitely what we'll do. So, but thanks, bro. I hope you have hit that subscribe button. Guys, by the way, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Literally 98, no, 96% of the people that watch us and actually enjoy our content haven't followed yet. It does wonders. It does wonders for us to actually see you guys enjoying the content by hitting that subscribe button. Because the promise I've actually made me and my team, which is a one-man team, is that the more this grows, the better the content. And of course, one thing is for sure, I'm going to be taking you guys all on the journey of me getting my license to coach. And I want you guys to absolutely join it. I want you guys to absolutely be there, present from the scratch, from when things started, from when the thought was invented to the completion of maybe when I'm actually at the dugout for Manchester United. Harshly says, I'm from Mauritius. What's up, brother? And it is 3:45 a.m. here, brother. Thank you. I'm very happy that we have exchanged and subscribed, liked the video because you are a good and not a fake. Thank you, man. I truly appreciate it. And bro, you're from Mauritius. It's 3 a.m. I salute you for being awake, even watching and being attentive to actually ask questions and go back and forth and give me the time to actually explain it. Brother, I appreciate you. That name, Harsley, I'm going to write it down because every single person that joins us and subscribes becomes a pillar of this community. You guys truly do. And that's one of the reasons why we started this. So thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. Um, we also saw Coco Golf win the French Open. That was amazing. Coco Golf, which wins the French Open. Amazing to me. I felt bad for Sabalenka. I felt bad for Sabalenka. Like I got tuned in because of the banter of going back and forth with Djokovic. Sorry. I got tuned in. I got tuned in. I was focused. And she definitely lost. Say, can you tell something is off? Say, I can tell something off. Football, please. Can I tell you something? Yeah, please go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, man. I told you this is you guys channel. For the most part, we talk about sports, but we can absolutely have conversations about some things else. So go ahead, ask the question. You see, I really appreciate the way you disagree on things I said. Very polite, and I appreciate it, brother. Man, thank you, man. Thank you. I've been reading this book called "The Diary of the CEO: 33 Ways um to Life and Business." And one of the things I learned was the best way to the best way to impact knowledge, or the best way to convince something or convince someone about your own point, is not about saying no or I disagree. It's about finding common ground. First things first, finding common ground and giving them reasons why you think that your thesis is a little bit better than theirs and why they should adopt yours. Because all of a sudden, the moment you agree with somebody else, or that person you're agreeing with, is more susceptible to actually listening to what you got to say. If you just absolutely say no, and I'm saying this because I want every single person to take it and run with it. Let me even show you this. I'm going to show you guys so you guys can absolutely watch this or listen to this on YouTube or listen to this on Spotify. This is not plug. I'm not getting anything from it, but this is it right here. A Diary of a CEO. I'm on I am on law 21. I have a bit more to go, but I am on law 21, and I think every single person should be reading that book. It's a book that Stephen Bartlett, I don't know if you guys know him, but Stephen Bartlett is absolutely amazing. Please do not change. I follow a guy from India, a sports journalist. He started well, but he started going off the road. I've unfollowed him because I think that kindness and humility are key. Brother, I hope I don't change, but I want you to make sure and hold me accountable, because that's what life is about. I'm a humble guy from humble beginnings, and I want you to hold me accountable. You get me? This chat is always going to be open for every single person that want to have conversations about every single thing. And so hold me accountable. Say, hey, buddy, reel it in. Reel it in. Just reel it in, because you are getting ahead of yourself. And I will absolutely, for 100%, because I never feel like I've gotten enough learning. So please, I beg you, please keep up, keep letting me know. I'm absolutely going to stay kind and stay humble. That's definitely me, and that is who I am as a person. I truly believe that. Um, yeah. So what's next with the transfer window? And if you have any questions, please reel it in. Not reel it in, but please let me know. Let me know, please. Alisson on his Liverpool future. I have 1 year on my contract left and one more year on a club option. They will probably exercise this option. I think it's about what I have in hand to do a great job. It is a decisive moment in my career when a World Cup is coming, bruv. They better lock him down right now. They better rock him down right now. Says, are you from England or Africa, my brother? My doors are open if you ever come to Mauritius, and I mean it. Oh man, thank you. I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate you. Maybe Mauritius could be a place where I go for vacation or something. And I basically do like a live show there. And I'm like, hey, everybody, come on. Let's meet. Let's get to meet each other. And you basically remind me of this situation, of this conversation and this interaction. And I basically will be blown out of my mind because I absolutely love meeting everybody that watches the channel. It truly is one of my to answer the question, are you from England? No. Are you from our Africa? Yeah, I'm probably African. Yeah, yeah. But yes, I have spent some time. I have spent some time in England. That's why I kind of speak the way I do. And some people actually feel like I'm making it up for some reason. But like whenever I'm speaking English, for the most part, when I speak English, I sound like this. But if I switch to my to pidgin English. I don't know if you guys know what pidgin English is, but that far, what did it happen? What's the movement? You understand me? Bro, you see the accents all of a sudden comes out. But I think it's also the idea of like code switching because you also want to make sure that everybody can actually listen to you and hear you talk without being like, huh? What? What? There's nothing nothing irritates me more than what? What? Nothing does, man. Nothing does. But yeah, so many things are happening, man. So many things are happening. Allison better get locked down. That's for sure. They better lock him down. Good, my African brother. Africa unites. We Africans are nice people. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. The nicest of people I've ever met. Very welcoming with all the hardships that come with life. The most exciting people to realize and to actually have fun. We are never broken once we have breath in our lungs. That's one thing I truly believe. Um, yeah, I'm trying to see. Is there any news that we want? Wow. Just in, Wolves want Jared Martin. That's crazy. Jared Martin from Barcelona to Wolves. If that happens, that would be impressive. Hmm. Bukayo. Why Bukayo Saka is not wearing the number 14, I would never know. I think that would have been the perfect number for the Mr. Arsenal. But I guess he doesn't want the pressure. The pressure of Thierry Henry. Henry. Um, what is what else? What else? What else do we need to talk about? La 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 la. What else do we need to talk about? Um, but the NBA finals is happening. This is the first time in my life that the NBA's was happening or the finals was happening, and I just couldn't. Haven't watched any. I really just haven't. I don't know if it's because of like the transfer window that is just heating up and going crazy, but I just haven't watched the NBA finals. And Halliburton is just going crazy. Do it just going crazy? Yeah. Let's see. Anybody else that we need to talk about? Let's see. Guys, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button right now. Hit that subscribe button so we can absolutely get to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So we can get to the goal of 1,000 subscribers and get to the watch hours that are absolutely needed. You get me? So we can bring more content to you guys. By the way, I'm trying to see the logistics, right? For us to actually um have coverage at the Club World Cup. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but it is hopefully going to be in the works. Brother, I'm going to bed. Have a nice day. Or have a nice night. I think that's what you said. Have a blessed night. Oh, brother. Thank you. Wish you the very best. God bless you and your family, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, big dog. Hope you sleep well and you wake up with a smile on your face. Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you. Guys, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat who am I talking to. Let me know in the chat what the name is so I can say hi to you guys personally because I truly enjoy meeting every single person. And hopefully, when we come to your city near you, you can come say hi to us and we can enjoy. Um, what else? What else do we need to talk about? I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm drinking rum and Red Bull. See you wanna act fool. To so the Astros, the Red Sox at the Yankees. The Red Sox are playing. MLB is not I'm not the biggest fan. However, I've watched with the Detroit Tigers. Is it Tigers? I believe so. And the Detroit Tigers have basically gotten better, which is good. Um, bruv, this is crazy, man. Mr. Beast is a beast, for lack of a better term. This dude, he literally is at stake. See, I took my girlfriend on dates ranging from $1 all the way to $500,000 in a new video. Madison Bear even went on a date with Nolan. I don't know who Nolan is. I know who the heck Madison Bear is. I sure do. I sure do. Very pretty lady. I'm out here zooming. I'm like, let me see that smile. Stupid. That's amazing. That's amazing, man. Anyway, guys, you guys are getting a bit of a bit of raw, filtered, and uncensored. Um, Frank Ribery basically said, "So you need to win the Champions League to win the Ballon d'Or." Laughing my butt out. No, you don't. But if somebody has a better um, statistical number than you and actually wins the Champions League, gives you more of it gives you more of a chance to actually win the Ballon d'Or. That's what I'll say. So yes, no. Um, we have words. He said, "In the world of Sancho and Rashford, etc., be like Casemiro." Because Casemiro basically says, "It's been a long time since I have gone through a moment like this where the coach doesn't count on you, but you keep working, keep doing things well. Of course, you want to win titles, but one of the most successful seasons of my career, without a doubt, was this one. From for turning things around and hard work and dedication, bruv. I have to say this. He is not lying whatsoever. He is not lying whatsoever because Casemiro, once he came in, after the very few games of where things went wrong, Casemiro got benched. I repeat, he got benched. He got benched so hard, bro. I think his butt hurt from how hard he landed on the bench. But this guy kept on working. He looked arguably leaner. He did. He looked arguably leaner. He became very, 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 very integral to us actually getting into the Europa League final. He got integral in getting there. But then you get somebody that complains, and what happens? They say you did not train very well, and what happens? You throw your goddamn toys. You throw every single thing you've worked for to get to Manchester United. You throw it all away. Marcus Rashford. I don't even know. I would never understand what happened. I would never. This is your team. This is the team of your dreams. You're getting to live the dream that we all want to live. But the idea that you're putting in less than 100% breaks my heart. It truly does. It truly does. And then you see people on Twitter basically saying, another talent ruined by the pressure cooker of Manchester United. Scapegoated at 19 from social media for not delivering prime Cristiano Ronaldo numbers. The club is a graveyard for young talent, and Kobe will be next. Good luck, Alejandro. Reggie, you drunk. Alejandro Garnacho was not scapegoated by nothing. Now, we did not help him because the team was not good enough for him to actually be a young player at Manchester United. But guess what? That also gives you an opportunity to sink or swim. Alejandro Garnacho has scored a lot of goals for Manchester United. But when you feel you're too big for your boots, when you feel that you're bigger than Manchester United, when you feel that you're better than the players that you are playing with, so you do not have to take care about the things you say. You better be putting in numbers that Cristiano Ronaldo was putting. Because Manchester United can deal with Cristiano Ronaldo because he's putting in numbers that he is. I'll give you an example. American football. Wide receivers are usually known as divas. Why? Why are they known as divas? Because for the most part, what tends to happen is they want, give me the ball, pass me the ball, pass me the ball. And they literally start pouting. But guess what? When you start putting in numbers like who's the best wide receiver right now in the NFL? If you put in numbers like Justin Jefferson, every single person, every single team will tolerate you. Just like how they tolerated Antonio Brown. But the moment they can't tolerate it anymore is the moment where the numbers are not stacking up to the ego anymore. And once that happens, people start getting tired. People start getting tired of the bull. Let me tell you this. Alejandro Garnacho had the world of Manchester United on his feet. We were eating in his palm. But guess what starts happening? With the fame and the money, temptations start to creep in. And the temptations were not just temptations from outside, because the good thing about it is that he has a girl, he has a baby. So he is technically a married man. But the family pressures, there were rumors that he was leaking or his brother was leaking out club information. The other part that I'm about to say is not even a rumor because I saw it personally. The brother actually criticizing the manager. Because guess what? it doesn't matter whether you told your brother to say it or not. If it comes from someone in your family, it is assumed that that is what you have been telling them. If it comes from someone in your family, it is assumed that that is what you have been telling them. And Garnacho needs to understand that that affects him. That affects him in big ways. And hopefully, losing his place in Manchester United could give him everything that he needs to actually go back into the drawing board and get his ship tighter. Get them to understand that they are a representation of him. Ben Gross says, Garnacho is a great sale for us, great sale for PSR, and United have needed a rebuild for years. You are absolutely right, buddy. You are absolutely right. And it's not even just the idea of a great sale. Manchester United needs a revolution. This is a revolution. We need a restructure from the ground up. I was so convinced that that is what we need that I was okay with actually us losing Bruno Fernandes. I wasn't okay, because I knew he was the best player that we had, but I was fine understanding that we might just lose Bruno Fernandes. I was okay finding out that situation. But one thing is clear. One thing is absolutely clear. The only way Manchester United can become Manchester United again is when every single person in that locker room looks to one person, and that person is not a player. That person is Ruben Amorim. When that happens, Manchester United will be back. And we will start firing on all cylinders. That's what we're going to do. That's what is going to happen. And that is what I cannot wait for. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this live. I know I've gone longer than we expected, but I've been enjoying chatting with you guys. If you have any other questions, make sure you drop it in the comments. And we do this. We go live. We are trying to go live every day now, especially as the FIFA World Cup is coming up, especially for people that are not watching, are not in the US, and cannot stay up to like 3 o'clock when the games are going to be played. I'm going to be going live. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you guys can absolutely catch the breakdown of the game, the live, um, kind of, what do you call it, watch alongs. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and hit that like button. Let's go. Ben Gross says, how do you feel about Gyökeres? I'm confident with Cunha and Mbeumo, but I don't know how I feel about Gyökeres. I'm worried no other big club is in for him. Well, let me say this. Every transfer window is a worry. However, I think Viktor Gyökeres is a worry just because of how much sheer numbers he has done for Manchester, for Sporting the Portugal, Sporting Club de Portugal. I think that's why people are nervous, because they are feeling like, oh, he scored so he might not translate in the Premier League. But I want you guys to understand that Viktor Gyökeres played in the Championship for Coventry. That's first one. Viktor Gyökeres is 6'2" or 3" He's built like a freaking brick wall. You understand? He is built like a freaking brick wall. He is durable, and he knows where the back of the net is. So those are the things that I have to first say. Because at Coventry, and I'm going to tackle it one by one. Let me write this back of the net. While he was at Coventry, he played 116 games. And in that 116 games, he scored 43 times with assisting 17. I don't know how to do maths very well. But if I do my maths very well, 43 plus 17, right? You're basically looking at 10, you carry one, that is 5. You're looking at 60 goal contributions in 116 games. That is a really good return. But nobody will tell you this. Because what you're seeing now is because Arsenal has chosen to go for Šeško, it's now making it to look like, oh, there must be something wrong with Gyökeres. That's what it's made to look like. There must be something wrong with Gyökeres. Gyökeres is a 6'2" solid bloke, if I'm not mistaken. He can run for days. He is strong. He can put people on their arses. He can literally use his arse as literally a jab to keep you away from the ball. But one thing most especially, his height does not stop him from being very strong on the ground. Now, his aerial duels are not as great as they should be for the heights that he is, but in my opinion, those things can get better. He is 26 years of age. They can get better. So I hope that answers the question. I am scared because every transfer that comes out of or does not play in the Premier League is a risk. I think this is a risk worth taking. Because if we get it right and Gyökeres gives us 30 goals next season, every single fan with strikers not Erling Haaland and Alexander Isak will be woeing the day that they chose to go for Benjamin Šeško instead of Gyökeres. That I will tell you. So, yeah. I'm excited. I'm truly excited. I can't wait to see if he joins Manchester United. I honestly can't wait. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. I've basically gone live for 2 hours, 30 minutes. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, I will answer it before we leave. But for the most part, much love to you guys for watching. Like I said, we got 6 people in here. If 6 people hit that subscribe button, it would do us wonders because all that would give us is that it shows us that we're doing something that you guys like and we are growing as a channel, which will tell YouTube to absolutely subscribe to show you guys more of the contents that we make, in turn helping the channel grow better and bigger. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. I'll see you guys in the next one. My name has been Manny. Love y'all. Peace.